Hi, what I would like to see as a backer of a Double Fine adventure would be actually a return to two values um, that we can see in previous LucasArts games. The first is that I would like there to be enough drama in a character I can relate to, like in Full Throttle and Grim Fandango. But most importantly, I would like there to be real consequences of my actions and really living NPCs like the ones we can find in Maniac Mansion and Zak McKracken. Ron Gilbert have always said that there were a lot of design flaws in Maniac Mansion and Zak McKracken. So you could get robbed, you can get killed, arrested, you could be out of money and practically or out of a very crucial and important inventory object, and you can get stuck and you couldn't even know that it's not possible to proceed further, that the game is completely ruined. And yes, I agree that's a design flaw, but these failure states were not random unfair Sierra-style deaths. They made the impression that your actions really matter. What's even more interesting is that these games had characters that were really alive. For example, in Maniac Mansion there is a nuclear reactor made in Chernobyl in the basement, and it powers the mansion, and you can turn it off, and immediately after you turn it off, somebody, the purple tentacle if I'm not mistaken, one of the monsters that Dr. Fred created, comes to check who turned the lights off, who turned the electricity off. And this makes him alive as a character. And also you can blow everything up if you play with the reactor too much. Another example is We Are Dead, who lives in the house. He's waiting for his package to arrive. And that's exactly why you can distract him by ringing on the doorbell, and he comes down to check if his package has arrived. And at some point his package really does arrive. And if he takes it, you can no longer distract him using the doorbell. So maybe it's a good idea for you to take the package, and maybe if you give him the package after you've taken it, you can make friends with him. And that's not obligatory. You can make friends with him or with the green tentacle. It's up to you. Another example with We Are Dead is that he wants cheese for his hamster, and he goes to the kitchen and he opens the fridge to take the cheese. If you have taken the cheese earlier, he cannot get the cheese and he isn't happy about it. But you know, the fun thing is that you can practically feel how he's using the same verbs that you're using. He's walking, he's opening the fridge, he's taking food from the fridge. He's using the same verbs that you're using. And for example, if you have left the faucet turned on, if he passes by the sink, he's like, who left the water? Who left the water running? Who left the faucet turned on and turns it off? And this makes him alive as a character. And in Zak McKracken, for example, there are the stewardess in the plane. She also has a life of her own. You can get up from your seat and you can start rummaging in the suitcase of the other passengers, and she's there to stop you from doing this. She's also walking by to serve drinks to the different passengers. If you lock yourself in the bathroom, she will get upset and she'll start knocking and ask if everything is okay. And that makes her alive as a character. There are also a lot of different options for what you do. For example, the bus driver is sleeping and you can wake him up by knocking on the glass with any object that is hard enough to produce the needed sound. And if your friend, if your girlfriend is with you, then he asks if she's going to come for the ride too. And that makes him once again an NPC that is alive. I also liked a lot that there were different ways to achieve your goals. For example, you can break in the post office, and you can do it in different ways. You can dislodge the boards from the floor of your apartment, and you can drop a rope, and in this way you can descend to the floor below in an acrobatic way. So this is one option, the acrobatic option. Or you could use a disguise, and you could get there by just using the proper disguise. Or you can just distract the Quark with a phone call. And all of those plans could backfire. For example, you could not use a rope, you could just jump down in the hole that's in your floor, and when you land on the water floor, you make noise. And this noise gets you caught. In the same way, your disguise could fail. If I'm not mistaken, your disguise could consist of several different parts, and so if your disguise fails, you were recognized and you were caught once again. And you didn't even need to break into the post office. You only do that if you don't want to pay your bill, which you can actually pay with money, right? But what I'm advocating here is not exactly different paths and choice. What I'm advocating is a world in which the NPCs, the non-playable characters, seem alive, and in which there are real consequences for your actions. For me, Monkey Island is a step back in the development of the adventure genre, and it sets a very bad example because in Monkey Island everything is extremely linear and scripted, in the sense that there is only one correct way for things to happen. There is no way for you to fail, and the NPCs are just standing there waiting for you to talk to them. They have no life of their own, they have no purposes, they have no reactions, no real reactions to your actions. And all of this creates the feeling that your actions don't really matter, and that the world is fake. There is another thing that I don't like in Monkey Island, and it's not so important, and it's the fact that it's really a comedy game just trying to be fun, as opposed to games like Grim Fandango and Full Throttle, who have real drama in them. I really care about the characters in Full Throttle and Grim Fandango because they're fugitives. They're fugitives, they're set up, they're in really bad situation, there is some kind of injustice that they have to fix. So practically that's it. What I would really appreciate in a new Double Fine adventure game would be the freedom, the complexity, the beauty of the simulation that we can find in Maniac Mansion and Zak McKracken, despite the fact that their own creator, Ron Gilbert, considered this a design flaw. And the drama and the relatable character that I can find in Full Throttle and Grim Fandango, and that really makes me rooting for him for the story that unfolds.